There's nothing to drink except palm wine, nothing to eat except some fruit and vegetables. And
the Biafran War was forged, but if you see this part, you will almost cry. This is how genocide occurred during the Biafran War.
Pretty well beyond any control. A cup of this stuff, gari, which they make to use as sort of porridge, used to cost a penny a cup, now it costs a shilling. Or a yam, the staple food around here, like a big potato, used to cost sixpence each and now can cost anything from 3 shillings to £1. Or a cup of salt, which is a very important commodity in a hot climate, used to cost a penny for a little cup like this and now costs 15 shillings. Matches used to cost 2pence a box and now cost 5 shillings. Or cigarettes, when you can get them, cost 13 and 6 for 10. That's over 25 shillings for 20. A bar of soap like this used to cost a shilling before the war and now costs 25 shillings. This little heap of dried fish used to cost a penny before the war. You'd use it for flavouring or making soup. Now it costs 15 shillings. Or these lovely fellas here, a pile of snails. You could buy 30 of them for a shilling before the war, and now this lot, just 7, would cost you £1. That is if you happen to like snails.
people still go to market, but these days they do it mainly from habit. Even if there were anything to buy, the prices would put it beyond the reach of all but the wealthiest. The market here at Nguru has an air of unreality about it, as though the real centre of action were somewhere else, and in fact, it is. About a quarter of a mile from the Nguru marketplace, there's a large convent and school, and it's here that the people come for their food, rather than to the once crowded market. The complete breakdown of the traditional system has left them entirely dependent on outside relief agencies like Caritas, the Red Cross and the World Council of Churches. This food centre begins operating shortly after 6 each morning, and it has an average daily attendance of 3,000 women. This morning, each one is given a piece of stockfish to begin with. These dried, salted codfish are probably the most useful of all the relief foods. They are light and easy to handle, and they contain the vital protein that is lacking from the native food. The fish is followed by soup, made from vegetables bought locally. Since the Nguru Feeding Centre is administered by nuns, most of their supplies come from Caritas, the Vatican relief agency. Every night, Caritas planes break the economic blockade and fly in food, medicine and money to the airstrip at Uli.
Nowhere more apparent than in the frontline town of Aba, which is now in the hands of federal troops. Like so many other places ravaged by the war, Aba is a ghost town, which slowly but surely is being reclaimed by the jungle out of which it was built. The only sound to be heard is the occasional whine of an incoming bullet from Biafran positions to the north of the town. In a few cases, the motives of those who are demanding a quick-kill policy are of the worst kind. Some federal officers would like to see all Igbos killed to destroy any further prospects of Igbo domination. But in most cases, frontline commanders and senior officers want a change in policy for the sake of the country. According to them, people sitting in Lagos have no idea of how the country is being ruined by a slow war.
On the 30th of May 1967, the independence of the Republic of Biafra was declared. I won't say that a new country was added to the map, since few map makers thought it worth their while bothering with the country which seemed certainly doomed to early annihilation. But today, the Republic of Biafra still survives, despite the loss of 5/6 of their territory, the loss of all their big towns, despite 18 months of continuous warfare, despite the death of hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of their fellow citizens. The people of Biafra are still independent. The roads are thronged with refugees. Hunger and poverty are everywhere. One thing alone remains undiminished: the sheer naked will to survive.